Welcome to Capernaum, Capernaum. There's so many names for that, but the real name of it is the village of Nahum. Kfar, it's like two words in Hebrew. Kfar, village. Nahum, we don't know who is Nahum. Maybe it's a prophet Nahum. But there is a meaning for every name. For example, my name is Zahi. Actually, it's Isaac, one of the fathers. But Isaac is because someone laughed. Then Litzchok. It's part of my name. And as you can understand, I'm doing it a lot. Then it's the city of the comforter, the one who comforts. And this is the meaning of Nahum. There's a meaning to every word in Hebrew. The entrance to Capernaum, to Kfar Nahum, and let me use it as the Hebrew version, Kfar Nahum. You can see the homeless Jesus. It's not the first one that you can find in the world, but it's, I think, one of the most important things in the world, and the mercy that he did. He thought about everyone else, except of him. Then this is beautiful. As you do unto the least of my brothers, you do unto me. And this is actually I think the story of Jesus. He had nothing, but he did a lot. He did a lot, not because he wanted to get something back. We want to give him something back. Then let me show you where is the village. This is the Sea of Galilee. We are the northern part of it. Fish and the miracles, man beatitude, Capernaum, Kfar Nahum, Bethsaida, Chorazim, Tiberias, the village. I mean, this is the city of Jesus, but the land of Jesus started from Magdala to here. The story of the pigs and Legion was somewhere here. Then the northern part of the Sea of Galilee, which is to your right side, is the story of Jesus' land. But actually, Jesus' land now is all over. Remember what's happened to Pentecost? Spread that rumor to all over. Then you can see here people from Nigeria. You can see some evangelists from America that are the only one who actually visiting Israel now because of the war. Usually when we are entering to here, you can see beautiful decoration of something. And what is that beautiful something? Then let's look at the decoration here. You can see grapes, pomegranate. Is it a Jewish one, Christian one? And usually when we are reaching to here, we are talking about a Jewish Star of David, and it must be a synagogue. Then the answer is, first of all, yes, it is part of the 4th century synagogue from here. And this is the synagogue of Kfar Nahum, but it was built in the 4th century, maybe even not by the Jews themselves, and the Star of David is only a very late symbol of Judaism. What is a real symbol is that. I don't know if you can see it because the sun is in our eyes. But you can see the menorah, and to the right of the menorah, you can see the shofar. And shofar. This is a totally symbol for a synagogue, for sure. What's that? It's the Ark of the Covenant. Oops. But I want you to see that it's on wheels. What's happening here? Maybe it's actually described out of the covenant that were the Philistines. Remember the Philistines? They didn't want it anymore. God punished them. Then it moved to Beth Shemesh, and then from Kiryat Yarim on wheels, as we believe. Or maybe at the 4th century, they already prayed through Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is that way. Then in that case, the entrance is the synagogue is facing to the north, but Jerusalem is at the south. Then maybe they moved it from the and blocked the entrance when they started to pray. They were praying through Jerusalem, right there. It's difficult to see the inscription here on that column, but this is from the 5th century, and I can read it, but you can read it too because it's in English now. Alphonsus, son of Zebedee, son of John, remember John Zebedee, placed this column here. Is it from the family of John? Maybe, but don't forget that this is the 5th century. It's not from the time of Jesus, and there's so many other decoration here. And remember the Torah Ark? Maybe it was made of wood, and you can see the cover of it. 2 columns of the temple, right there. Boaz and Yachin. Look like that. This is the milestone. And that milestone tells us that Capernaum is actually at the highway, Via Maris in the Roman time, the highway. Then in that case, at the highway, they used to pay tax. And that is where Matthew, one of the disciples, did. You know, when you're crossing from one place to another, you have to pay money. You have to pay tax. It was a tax collector right here. Getting closer to the synagogue that Jesus actually been for the first 3 years of his life as the Messiah for me. But the synagogue is from the 4th century, the white one. But the black one is, as we believe, a synagogue from the 1st century, from the time of Jesus. There's so many stories that we can actually talk about at Capernaum. What I love is the coin, 1 shekel. Remember the 1 shekel? That the tax of the temple came to St. Peter and said, "Did you pay for the temple? Did your rabbi, Jesus, pay for that?" And he said, "Of course he is." And then he went straight to Jesus and said, and then Jesus said, "You're staying at your mother-in-law house. Are you paying for her?" "No," St. Peter said. "Then why do you want me to pay for my father's temple?" Jesus answered, "But let's do that. Then go to the sea, find the fish, tilapia, open the belly of the fish or the mouth of the fish, and you will find 1 shekel. Then that's it. Give it to them." And that's what he did. I love that story because it actually tells us who Jesus is, Father of God. He is on the temple. At the temple, he doesn't need to pay for it. Although there's some scholars believe that they don't know if it's from the 1st century temple or not. I want you to see that they build the temple with, look at the lower limestone. It's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. I believe that temple is, that synagogue was built on top of a second temple, a synagogue, but it was built on the Jesus synagogue as well. I almost believe that it is. There's no reason The question is, who built the 4th century temple? Jews, they were against the new Christianity, or Christians that wanted to save the story of Jesus? That is still questionable. You can see a lot of decoration here and there as well from that amazing synagogue. Another thing that you can see, that Capernaum was a very important agriculture place, and wheat mills. So many. Is that a factory of wheat mills, or it was a factory of wheat bread? Look how many we have here. You can see the second story for the first synagogue. Then let's enter to it. Jesus cured people in the synagogue. He made a lot of miracles here, but they didn't listen to him. Then he cursed that place, just like he did it to Chorazim in Bethsaida. Then he said that on Shabbat, he left the synagogue and went to the house to his mother-in-law, actually St. Peter's mother-in-law. Where is the house? Do you want to see it? Are you ready for that? This is the synagogue. We have 3 main entrances, 1, 2, and 3. And this is one of the excavations that he did to look what's happening between here. And they found coins from 2nd century, and I believe that from 1st century as well. But there's another room here. It's not this. Is it? No. Is it the place of? I don't know. It's a big room. It's a beautiful room. Now, what is that place? I mean, look at so many doors here. And if you will go out, you might fall. What's happening here? Another thing that I want you to see is that there are games that the people used to play on the floor. Because of the sun location, you can actually see everything here and there. What is that place? 4th century. It's already a Christian place. The one who controls that place are Christians. Then what's happening here? Why did Jews build that kind of synagogue? Well, I know the answer, but what is your answer? Well, it's the same problem here. We are at the entrance of the synagogue. You can see the 3 main entrances. I mean, the main entrance is here, but there are 3 entrances. And with the additional part, you can see another 2. And what's happening? You're going straight to the ground. The only stairs are to the right. It's strange, isn't it? To-do-doom, to-do-doom, to-do-doom. Don't worry, you will know the answer soon. This is a building of 4 families, 2 stories. Maybe the head of the synagogue, which mentioned in the Bible as well, lived here. From the days after Jesus, people came to Capernaum, to Kfar Nahum, and they started to make graffiti at one place. That is the place. Then, according to what we believe, maybe that was the Domus Ecclesia, the first building of St. Peter's mother-in-law. That is the house that Jesus visited or lived in his 3 years here. I want you to see the difference. It used to be like that. Just like that. And then slowly they marked that place. And they started to build a holy site on top of it. Icaria at the 4th century already mentioned the Domus Ecclesia, that of Jesus, of the first Christians in that place. And the church, the Catholic Church that was built on top of it, they didn't destroy the evidence of the ancient house, although the ancient house doesn't look like that anymore, and still you can recognize the 1st century building. This is the house of Jesus. The 4th century church is the green one, and then the 5th century church, and it goes so on and so on and so on. But the center is marked from the days of Jesus as the most important place here. The first Christians didn't build themselves churches because they couldn't. The Romans didn't allow the Christians to be Christians. Then they had to find themselves a different system. You couldn't actually say that you're Christian. Then one of the options is Alpha and Omega, a fish. Then everyone who actually deals with it, believes it, a believer, he will know exactly what you mean. Because if I will say to someone, I'm a Christian, come to my church, he might go to the Romans or to the Jews, and that's it. You know what will happen to that church and to the believers. The most common symbol, and for me the most important symbol, although I hate fish, was the fish. Ichthos, which is the name of Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior, Yeshua Mashiach ben Elohim, Mashiach. Then the fish is the most important symbol. Then what Shira said, and I love it, you can draw half of a fish, and if someone will finish it, maybe you are secret believers of Jesus. Then back to our question, how can it be that the Jews that now are the victims, the Christians are prosecuted them, how can it be that the synagogue was so beautiful and so rich? Igeria told us that from the church you can see the Synagogue of Jesus, that this is a new monument. Shira believes that this is a synagogue of Jews, of the first believers. This can be very interesting, isn't it? Now, that place was covered. And the house of St. Peter's mother-in-law, remember the first people who became converted to Christianity, became to be the place that he used to baptize people, and I will show it to you the minute Shira will live. Then maybe it was flat all around it. That's why you could go out from the windows, the big doors from the third room. It's a theory, and I accept the theory. Another theory tells us that At that time, the Jews and the Christians live happily ever after. So many tourists are coming. The Jews can enjoy from the tourists. The Christian can enjoy from the tourist. Then, in that case, but at the Jesus time, there were so many Jews who believe in Jesus as well. Then why not to believe that those people say, all right, let's enjoy the benefit of Jesus. This is now the Christian side. It's not so different from Judaism. Then maybe one platform that reach the house of St. Peter Mother-in-law, the first church ever. And remember, and I will take you back to there. And now we can actually ask the same questions. 4th century, people mention John, Yochanan ben Zavdai. Why? It's a synagogue. They are Jews. He was Christian. This is the story. It was a synagogue of Jews who believe in Jesus. And why the menorahs got 3 legs? Trinity. Excellent idea. Excellent idea. Then let me show you the house of St. Peter Mother-in-law, the first church, and the place that he used to baptize people there. And then we are running straight to the bus. I'm with that group of tour guides that studying. There are not so many tourists here, then we do have time to study, and this is good because I'm going to be clever. All right. I believe that in the 5th century they used to baptize people here. They used to visit. And let me remind you that the Sea of Galilee is here. The port, the major port, is behind the statue of St. Peter. And if you want to support me, then subscribe to my channel. Send as many links to your friends, and and later on, if you want to help me a little bit more, then look at that next to the like button. You will find the shape of a heart. It's called Super Thanks. You can help me by YouTube. At the description, the text attached, you will find a lot of information about Capernaum, Kfar Nahum, and 2 more links of Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. You can do that. You can help me through there. Every penny actually helps me. Now look at those columns. That's going to be the end. This is actually marked the parking place. But what we realized after they did it, that this is part of the synagogue from the time of Jesus, from the 1st century. Guys, it was a pleasure to be with you. I'm going back to the bus, and see you in my next video. Bye-bye.